Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Experts, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess and we do these live streams every single weekday. So if you are new here, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification button. We are going to be talking today about the latest cryptocurrency news. We are going to be taking a look at what's really been going on in the markets and why Bitcoin is performing so well and why we have reached that $30,000 level. At the end of today's stream, we will be analysing the price of Bitcoin, taking a look at the DXY, which is currently plummeting, and we'll be comparing Ethereum to Bitcoin. So make sure to stay tuned until the very end to stay up to date with everything crypto. But for now, let's get straight into it. So Bitcoin is currently sat at $30,145, up a nice 4.2% within the last 24 hours, and up an even nicer 21% within the last week. We also have Ethereum up to $1,900, up 5.25% within the last 24 hours and almost 17% in the last week. We have seen a great week for cryptocurrency, something not many people would have expected just 2 weeks ago. This is why I always say it's better to be bullish when everybody else is fearful and be bearish every time everybody else feels a bit greedy. So let's take a look at what's going on in the markets now anyway. We will come back to the prices at the end of today's stream. In fact, first of all, let's take a look at the biggest losers, proving again that we haven't seen much negative movement in the markets. We can see that some stable coins are in the biggest losers with their small fluctuations in price. We like to see that. That means, as long as they've not depegged, that means that we haven't had a bad 24 hours. Let's take a look at what is happening in the news now, though, anyway, and see what's going on. So first of all, we have... let's make sure, oh man, letters have mixed up there, sorry. Let's try and make this look a little bit neater here. Can you see how this is affecting it? Perfect. It's not perfect, but it'll have to do. Let's take a look at this. The Federal Reserve sees payment stablecoins as a form of money. So Federal Reserve Chair has appeared before the House Financial Services Committee, stating that the Fed has been discussing crypto legislation with lawmakers anticipated to be introduced in July. Now, he has stated that the Fed sees stablecoins as a form of money. So let's take a look at this a little bit more in detail. We have Powell discussed the Federal Reserve's decision about interest rate evolution and the Fed's recent decision to suspend raises. So what he's discussing there is in the US, inflation hit a high of 9.1% back in June 2022 year on year. They have a target of getting it down to 2%. Currently, inflation is down to 4% because we've seen such strong interest rate hikes within the last year. Now, the Fed decided that they wanted to pause those interest rate hikes. So this time around, we did not see a change in interest rates. What we have seen is them just hold it steady. Now, this is typically seen as a good thing. However, they have said they expect to hike interest rates 2 more times within this year, and they still project that inflation will be higher than their target at the end of 2024. In fact, they predict it will be at around 2.5% at the end of 2024. So that really highlights the long road ahead for getting that inflation rate down. And then we need to try and bring those interest rates back down as well. So there's a big problem here, and the long road ahead for many different regions right now. We're seeing similar problems with inflation rates in the UK. Inflation is incredibly high here, and it wasn't as low as it was expected to be when rates were announced on Monday. So it is a concern worldwide at the moment. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Jason said, good evening from Australia. Good evening. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, I greatly appreciate it. Let's see what's going on here. $32,000 next, according to MS. Fingers crossed. We've got some really positive Bitcoin analysis coming at the end of today's stream, so make sure to stay tuned. And don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button so you can help us with the algorithm and help us get viewed by more people. The more people that watch these live streams, the more people that might understand cryptocurrency, and the more we drive adoption, and that is what we all want at the end of the day. Let's take a look at what's going on here anyway. That was a complete tangent there. Back to what's happening with the Fed. So Powell discussed the interest rates and how they've made this decision to pause interest rate hikes for the time being. And he's also discussed stable coins here. So Powell said that the Fed staff have been participating in discussions with lawmakers from both parties about the crypto legislation that committee members have been working on. After these first discussions, Powell mentioned that the Federal Reserve see payment stablecoins as a form of money, and in all advanced economies, the ultimate source of credibility in money is the central bank. So he concluded his sentence about stablecoins by mentioning, "We believe that a robust federal role would be appropriate." So it's also worth noting that Powell stated that the central bank is and will always be the primary source of trust in the financial system, and stablecoins borrow that trust from the underlying issuer, and in many situations these are dollar-based stablecoins, and these stablecoins are private currencies not backed by the central bank. If their stablecoin issuer reserves are not full of extremely high-quality assets, they will be prone to runs, thus there is some regulatory work to be done there. And we're not fighting, the vast majority of, let's start that sentence again. The vast majority of us in cryptocurrency are not fighting against regulation. That is a common misconception here. We're just fighting for transparency around the regulation, clarity around the regulation, and enabling the industry to continue to grow. So we can see here, it is clear that the Federal Reserve cannot ignore cryptocurrencies. Emphasizing this point, Powell stated that crypto appears to have staying power as an asset class. Now, I believe that is stating the obvious slightly, Powell. We have seen FTX collapse, we've seen UST depeg, we've seen numerous companies filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy just last year. We have then seen USDC depeg this year, and we have seen the SEC file lawsuits against, it looks like it's frozen on my end. Let me know if it's frozen on your end. We've seen the filings from the SEC against Binance, against Coinbase. So we've seen these problems continue to arise in the cryptocurrency industry. Problems that we have had to face, yet Bitcoin is still up at $26,000. So that shows the staying power that this industry has. Bitcoin was at its lowest at like $18,000. And look, we're still here now despite all of those problems. So this, in my opinion, is an industry that is bound to stay around. Let's take a look at what else is going on here. So let's take a look at this final statement here. The latest speech from Chair Powell reinforces the thesis that stablecoins are a real form of money on the Federal Reserve vision, but only some things are great news, as Powell claims for strong regulations on the specific crypto asset sector. Now, we aren't fighting against regulation, as I have just said. So hopefully, as long as the regulation allows the industry to continue to grow, this is a positive thing for us here. Let's check what else is going on, though. Make sure, if you haven't already, to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Let's check everything is running smoothly here. Let me know if the stream is running okay on your end. Let me just send this message. Ready? Okay, ready to continue here. So next we are talking about a mysterious whale. Let's pull this up and see what is going on here. This is a really interesting article from Crypto Slate, so let's take a look at this. Mysterious whale OXD275E linked to FTX collapse, Tether depeg, and recent $75 million token transfers. So Crypto Slate analysis of a mysterious account linked to major crypto events raises questions about its true intentions. So I love a bit of on-chain analysis here, and I love a little bit of sleuthing. So recent on-chain activity involving the Ethereum address has caught the attention of the crypto community. So through Crypto Slate's on-chain analysis, no concrete evidence pointing to the owner of the account has been discovered. However, the account has actively traded large amounts of tokens during key industry events. So the whale account has been identified during an on-chain analysis of both the FTX collapse, Tether depeg, and now the movement of $75 million back onto crypto exchanges. So according to a tweet from Spot on Chain, the address deposited 1,140 wrapped Bitcoin to Bitfinex and 15,000 Ethereum to Binance, Coinbase, and Kraken within the span of 1.5 hours on June the 21st. So Spot on Chain identified that this address has been actively transferring significant amounts of cryptocurrencies between major exchanges, potentially indicating manipulation activities given its murky history. Now, when we transfer huge amounts of money onto cryptocurrency exchanges, it creates a lot of fear in the markets, especially when you do that with an altcoin. There's fears that there's going to be a huge amount of selling pressure, because why else would you move your cryptocurrencies onto a centralized exchange, especially at the values when the values are really high. So we can see here that CryptoSlate reviewed recent transactions on Ethereum and found a series of transactions including withdrawals, transfers, and repayments over the past 24 hours. And these transactions involve Aave interest-bearing wrapped ETH, wrapped Bitcoin, and USDC, confirming the active participation of this address in the DeFi ecosystem. However, the address has also appeared in previous industry analysis, according to Noah NFTN. So in November 2022, the same wallet claimed that former FTX employees disclosed, the account claimed that the former FTX employees disclosed that the address was involved in misappropriating customer funds. So that's a massive point to point out there. The diagram below shows the account at the center of several large transactions between Aave, Bitfinex, Binance, Lido, Genesis Trading, and FTX. So there's some involvements in there. If we take a look at the Tether DPEG, we can see that on June 19th, on-chain asserted that the address appears to be selling ETH and repaying the debt on Aave. It further pointed that the address borrowed 50 million USDC from Aave after the USDT depegging and started buying USDT to arbitrage, suggesting potential involvement in restoring the peg. So taking a look even further, on-chain has previously speculated that this same address might be related to Tether or FTX account drainer, which would have significant implications for the industry. There's lots of relationships with this wallet throughout these difficult times in the industry. Also, taking a look here, we can see its analysis of the FTX hack revealed that the address was involved in large-scale transfers of ETH and USDC around the same time FTX exchange suspended user withdrawals. Look on-chain also noted the curious timing of trading activities from the address and the FTX account's drainer, hinting at a possible connection, though they emphasized that this remains speculative. And seeing things like this is one of the key benefits of having transparent blockchains. Having all that on-chain analysis available for everybody to look at and follow the transactions for is really, really important. Let's take a look at what else is going on in today's news. I thought that was just a really fun article to take a read through with you guys this morning. Please don't forget, if you haven't already, to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, and help us in the algorithm as much as possible. Let's see how many likes we have over on YouTube right now. We currently have, it's loading. And now you can hear me talk. I don't want to pin disaster there. Right, I'm having a nightmare. We are currently on 20 likes for today's stream. So if you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification button. Let's continue with today's news and see what else is going on. And also let us know if you like today's thumbnail. A lot of work went in today's thumbnail, and I think it's a really good one. So let me know what you think, and I'll pass that on to the thumbnail guy. He works very hard on them. Let's take a look at the chat now. Good morning, Jess. Let's hope we all go to the moon, from Robert. Yes, fingers crossed. Things are looking up. Things are looking positive. Bitcoin has seen a nice move to $30,000, and we will be analyzing the price later in today's stream. Let's take a look at what else is going on in the markets, though. Let's check that everything is as it should be. We're not talking about altcoins, we're talking about crypto news. My headlines have been a disaster today. So EDX Markets goes live with support from Wall Street Giants. So from Wall Street Giants, EDX Markets operates as a non-custodial exchange and currently supports Bitcoin, Ether, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin. Now, see how they've chosen assets that are deemed commodities. We can see here EDX Markets, a new crypto exchange backed by several Wall Street Giants, has officially opened its doors to customers after raising additional capital from new investors, including Miami International Holdings, GSR Markets Limited, and DV Crypto. This is a cryptocurrency exchange backed by Wall Street, and it offers Bitcoin, Ether, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin. We can see here Wall Street giants like Charles Schwab, Citadel Securities, Fidelity Digital Assets, Paradigm, and a couple of others are the founding investors backing EDX, and the new funding will enable the exchange to enhance the trading platform and solidify its position in the crypto market. So EDX said its trading platform tapped into the best practices for the traditional finance space to give customers and industry leaders several benefits such as liquidity, competitive quotes, and a non-custodial model to avoid conflict of interest. So this is a massive move that we are seeing here this week. On top of the Bitcoin ETF news, there is just a race for cryptocurrency right now, especially for Bitcoin. What we are seeing here is BlackRock filed for a Bitcoin ETF. They would need a huge amount of Bitcoin, or probably already own a huge amount of Bitcoin to actually launch that Bitcoin ETF. We've also seen other companies restart their processes of trying to get a Bitcoin ETF once again after being rejected a couple of years ago. So we're really seeing big steps forward from institutions here. And what's going to happen is if these ETFs get accepted, there's going to be a scramble to acquire that Bitcoin. What we know is there's about 1.5 million Bitcoin left to be mined. That means we've already got 19.5 million in circulation. Now, I heard a figure yesterday, don't quote me on this one, there's only about 10% of Bitcoin left on exchanges. What I would say to you all now is make sure you are storing your Bitcoin somewhere safely. Centralized exchanges, I mean, they're the highest risk to store your cryptocurrencies, not your keys, not your crypto. Store it somewhere safe. And even with self-custody wallets, just be careful. We saw it with Atomic Wallet last week. Oh no, probably last month. You need to be really careful, and you are still trusting the code when you're using a hardware wallet. So diversify amongst those as well. Just make sure you are storing your cryptocurrencies carefully at this time, because there's about to be a massive wave of adoption here. There's a shortage of cryptocurrency, there's a shortage of Bitcoin. They need to acquire a huge amount of Bitcoin, and they're going to be buying that as a premium because they have come into the game late. So what we need to see here is we all need to store our cryptocurrencies safely. I'm personally hodling on for the long term, because long term, this market feels more bullish than ever to me. And let's take a look at the next article though. Let's move on from this. If you are more interested in this non-custodial model and EDX and how Wall Street are backing cryptocurrency all of a sudden in a complete turn of events, make sure to go to cryptosavingexpert.com. I will in fact put the link to this article in today's live chat over on YouTube if you want to give that a read. And also while you're there, don't forget to press that big blue sign up button at the top of the Crypto Saving Expert website, create an account and tick that box as well to get access to the latest cryptocurrency news, and that box gives you access to our newsletter as well. So let's continue with today's news. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification button. Let's take a look at what else is going on here. So we have Bitcoin flash pumps to $138,000 all-time high on Binance US. So let's talk about that. That's a really interesting one here. What we've seen, first of all, we all know the SEC filed sued Binance US. Now, that caused a lot of fury in the markets. The SEC then tried to freeze Binance US's assets. They didn't completely freeze them. They came to some sort of agreement in the middle. And now what we are seeing is people are fleeing the exchange. People don't want to be involved with the exchange. Banks in the US do not want to be involved in the exchange. US dollar, fiat, and off-ramps have been removed from the platform because the banks do not want to work with the exchange. So there's a lot of fear around Binance US right now. And what we are seeing is the liquidity is dropping. There's a lot of sell pressure. So the price of Bitcoin reached $138,000 on the exchange. Now, I would like to point out this was just for a split second. I'm not sure how many limit orders actually got filled during this time, but it's a massive amount of volatility there, almost a 400% increase. Now, this isn't the first time this has happened on an exchange. It probably won't be the last. I do remember this one that is recalled at the bottom of this article. We saw something similar around the peak of the last bull market, when Bitcoin was at around $65,760 to be precise. Bitcoin dropped 87% on the exchange to $8,200. And the exchange pinned the issue of this to a bug in an institutional customer's trading algorithm. So this is just pointing out, this isn't the first time this has happened. It doesn't just happen on Binance.us either. This is just the example that's given. But this does happen on exchanges sometimes. And everybody wishes they had those limit orders in to sell for a nice big profit there. But it's interesting to see fluctuations like this. The price is now back to normal. If the price fluctuates away from the actual market value for too long, arbitrage traders come in and start to take advantage of that gap until it starts to level out. Let's take a look at the next article now, though. Before we do, please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, and make sure to tune into these live streams every single weekday. Taking a look at the chat now, JB says, my Bitcoin is never being sold. When I go, I will leave it to my daughter. Tax-free transfer of wealth to my child. Now, honestly, I am very excited to see where this space will be within a couple of years' time. The bear market was incredibly doom and gloom, but now it feels like we are just getting out the other side, and all of us now that are in this at the very beginning and at the lows of the last bear market, it's the most exciting time to pay your full attention to cryptocurrency right now. And I can't express that enough. I keep trying to share my excitement to non-cryptocurrency users, and none of them understand what the situation is right now. I'm feeling very excited about the space. If you are too, please don't forget to give us a like, especially if you are watching over on Twitter or on YouTube. Give us a like and help us with that algorithm as much as you can. Let's take a look at what else is going on here. So Binance launches local crypto exchange in Kazakhstan. We are seeing Binance spread into different regions, but also seeing them pull out of different regions. It all depends on if they can get their licenses and if they can get regulated in the correct way. If the regulation is clear and transparent and they can abide by that regulation, they're going to get involved. There's money to be made, and there's an industry to break into. There's a market to break into. So Binance has opened a dedicated crypto trading platform in Kazakhstan, expanding its global reach. Now, we are seeing, although Binance have this lawsuit going on with the SEC in the US, we are seeing a lot of cryptocurrency companies just putting the situation in the US to one side and seeing how they can grow in other areas of the world. We've seen Asia be a massive place for crypto companies to move into within the last couple of months, specifically Hong Kong, and I expect we are going to see more of that in the coming months, and Asia could really fuel the next Bitcoin bull market if that were to happen. I keep saying that Bitcoin is definitely going to have a next bull market, and I keep being told I need to put a little bit of a caveat on that, but I mean, I'm pretty confident. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Romanian prosecutors request to seize Andrew Tate's Bitcoin worth $560,000. Now, they believe this will prevent the influencer from escaping prosecution. How many of you guys have seen the BBC News about this? One of the reporters on BBC News unfortunately mixed up his words and said that Andrew Tate owned more than 21 million Bitcoin, which we all know is impossible. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin out there. So hopefully that guy that presented that news article is watching this live stream right now so he can learn about Bitcoin and about cryptocurrency. And to help us in the algorithm, make sure to give us a like and comment on today's video as well. Let's see what else is in store here. So Tether to issue USDT on Kava blockchain. The announcement of the upcoming USDT launch on Kava comes shortly after the asset's market cap surpassed an all-time high of $83.2 billion. So USDT even, not UST. USDT is the biggest stablecoin in terms of market cap, and it's just growing and growing, launching on new blockchains, breaking into new markets. So we are going to see this stablecoin continue to grow within the next couple of weeks, I believe. Let's take a look at the next one here and see what else is going on. So Neutron announces a $10 million raise led by Binance Labs. We are seeing huge amounts of money being raised in these fundraising rounds in cryptocurrency right now, and that is just going to continue to grow if the prices of Bitcoin and the industry grows. As the industry grows, the value of the companies within the industry grow as well. Let's take a look at what else is going on here. So Gods Unchained launches an Epic Games store. Web3 game Gods Unchained has now launched a Fortnite's Epic Games into gaming and all of that fun stuff. Make sure to check out this article. Again, I will put the link to that in the chat today, so make sure to go and check that out. And when you're there, hit that big blue sign up button at the top of today's of the website at cryptosavingexpert.com. Make sure to go there, create an account, tick that box there for our newsletter every single Tuesday at 11 a.m. BST time, and you get access to all of the amazing courses as well. We have just launched another course in the Crypto 101 sector, here it is. I thought I was about to spill the beans then and say something that we hadn't yet announced, but this is it, the Crypto and Artificial Intelligence course, a very interesting one. If you're interested in AI, what AI is, the narrative around AI, how AI is involved in cryptocurrency and the intersection of these two industries and the future of that, make sure to check out that article. Let's take a look at the chat now. Christian says, great news update, Jess. Well done. Keep it coming. Definitely we will do. We've been doing these live streams now since about mid-November, no, maybe mid-December, I would say. And we are now 22nd of June and we have not missed a day. So if you want some reliable news source, make sure to go over to our YouTube channel. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. And if you're on Twitter, give us a follow and make sure to go over to all of our other social medias as well. Me and the team work really hard on pumping out content and educating everybody on cryptocurrencies over on the Instagram at Crypto Saving Expert, over on the TikTok at Crypto Saving Expert, over on the Twitter at Crypto Saving Expert, and over on the YouTube at Crypto Saving Expert. So make sure to like as much content as possible and just engage with us whenever you see us to help us grow the industry as much as possible. We have created a completely free website here and we need your support to help us continue to grow. Let's take a look at what else is going here. Ledger publishes white paper for seed recovery service despite criticisms. So Ledger is a hardware wallet provider and they faced a huge amount of backlash. So let's take a look at why they have done so. So they have launched a Ledger Recover, which allows users to back up their seed phrases for easy restoration by linking them to their government-issued identity documents or passwords. Now, this service, to give away your seed phrase and have it stored online, costs just $9.99 a month. Now, the whole point of having a hardware wallet is so that we have self-custody. We keep our seed phrase offline, somewhere safe, where only we have the ability to access it. So the idea of paying $10 to give Ledger your seed phrase and ask them to store it instead, it doesn't really add up, and a lot of the cryptocurrency industry have thought the same. Now, on the flip side, I can give an alternative argument to this, and that is that the ability to have complete control of your funds is a massive benefit to the cryptocurrency industry, but it is also something that I believe is the reason that some people choose to shy away from the industry. And that's why I think the Bitcoin ETF is really important, and cryptocurrency centralized exchanges are really important for the industry. They allow people to get exposure to the cryptocurrency industry without having that responsibility of storing their private keys. We've all heard the scary stories of that guy that had his private keys stored on a USB stick and then put it into landfill. And that has gone like viral. Everybody that's not in cryptocurrency knows that story. And having self-custody, although is a brilliant thing for us once we learn about the industry more and more, having self-custody is one of the reasons that some people choose to not get into the industry. So having something like this, yes, is completely against all of the reasons that I am in cryptocurrency. However, it may help more people get into this space, and as they learn about this space and they learn about the benefits of self-custody, they may then realize that they're better without this service. But it might be a stepping stone for adoption and something we need to bring more people into the space. So that's what I'm thinking on this situation anyway. Let's take a look at what's happening in the chat. Viewers will pick up in the bull market, Jess. It will all be worth it. Fingers crossed. And that's what we're hoping for. But this week has been pretty good for us in terms of views. So if you haven't already, please don't forget to share the stream with your friends, as well as liking and subscribing to today's stream. Let's take a look at the final two articles here. We're moving on to the prices of the assets, and then we'll be taking a look at the price of Bitcoin now. Let's see, how long have we been on today's stream? Does this software tell me? 27 minutes. Okay, we've got some time here. So Bitcoin Cash jumps 21% following EDX Markets listing. So this is the exchange backed by giants on Wall Street. They have listed Bitcoin Cash on that exchange, and Bitcoin Cash has seen a nice move to the upsides on the back of that. If you go to cryptosavingexpert.com and you go to the markets section here, you can see all of the top cryptocurrencies. You can see lots of market data. If I zoom out, you can see even more. Bitcoin Cash, where is this in terms of market cap? It's somewhere high. Here it is. So we can see here that it is currently priced at $135 at a market cap of $2.63 billion. We can see here the 24-hour volume is up 41% to 491 million. If you can see here, I mean, Bitcoin Cash has been at a low for a while now. Its lowest value is down at $15, but realistically, ignoring that wick, down at $23.40. And that's seen a nice big move to the upside within the last couple of days, within the last couple of hours, 24, 48 hours. We can see here, in April 2021, this was up at $492 and it's currently priced just below $30. It's a pretty interesting token, this one, and definitely something to be interested in. Oh, wait, no, this is BSV. Let's go to BCH. I was looking at that thinking, surely. Let's go to this one here. Here we go. We can see here, this is the pump we're talking about here. Let's take a look at that. So we started down at 107. It's now been all the way up to 152. A nice big move to the upside. In May 2021, it was up at $1,650. That's more like it. So we are still at the lows that we have seen for this bear market here. If we go back to the lows of November, when the markets was really in the depth of doom, we were down at around 86 for Bitcoin Cash. And it's now up at 134. So we have seen a nice move to the upside. But if you look at the bigger, if you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, you can see here that we are still down compared to those big highs. So that's something that excites me. Let's take a look at the next article here and see what else is going on here. So we have Bitcoin begins battle with $30,000. So Bitcoin saw an influx of volume and a massive 10% spike off the back of this Bitcoin BlackRock ETF. Now, I feel like it did just take a few days for this news to sink in and for people to understand the importance of this ETF. We can see here Bitcoin has gone on a 20% run. If we take a look at the charts, you can see we've seen a massive move to the upside. I mean, this analyst from Crypto Saving Expert goes into a lot of detail here. So if you want to take a look at his analysis, make sure to check out this link here that I will put in the chat. But instead today, I'm going to give you my own analysis. So let's go to BTC USDT. Let's see what's in store today. We have some positive news. I've just done a huge amount of analysis on my own channel. So let's go through that now quickly. Let's get rid of all of these lines here. I keep forgetting to save my new drawing, so we're gonna have to start again here. First of all, let's go to the daily chart and see what's happening there. So we can see here that we had I'm all messed up here. You can see here that we had a descending wedge. Now we will just talk about this one more time here on the channel. You can see we had that descending resistance. We had that descending support. We have broken to the upside from this. I would definitely say we have a level of resistance here at that $31,000 level, which we failed to break through during that pump back at the start of April. We also have a level of resistance here from the top of those candles bodies at $30,500. So I think that $30,500 to $31,000 level is going to be a sticky point for Bitcoin. If we look at the bigger picture though, you can see we also had a level of resistance from back in August 22 and February 2023 that we have now used officially as a level of support here, and that is super duper bullish. Super duper bullish being the technical term there. If we take a look at this, you can see we have an inverse head and shoulders pattern. We've used that previous level of resistance as a support. If we take a look at the distance between the head and the shoulder level for that chart there and put that to the point of breakout, that's a price target all the way up at $38,000. Now, if we take a look at the Bitcoin CME chart, so this is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, which is operational every Monday to Friday, but not operational over the weekends. You can see we have gaps in the market, and those gaps act like magnets for the Bitcoin price. One of those magnets being up at $35,200, helping us start to climb that ladder. Now, that being said, I don't think that means that we're in the all clear and we've got this positive ETF news so we can just go to the moon right now. We do have some concerns here along the way. We have some levels of resistance we need to keep an eye on. I would definitely say that between the $31,720 level and the $32,660 level, we have some levels of resistance from that period of time back in May and June in 2022. We also need to keep an eye at the bigger picture. We are currently at $30,000. we have the Bitcoin halving in April 2024. Typically, we don't see all-time highs until after the Bitcoin halving, although this time we do have a shortage of Bitcoin with institutions trying to invest in those cryptocurrencies. I like to believe in the Bitcoin 4-year cycles. I try and not steer away from the trends, although I feel super, super bullish right now. I'm trying to just look at the bigger picture, and I don't let the bearish news change my point of view when markets are going down. So I'm trying so hard not to let this bullish news get me too excited. But right now I'm trying to keep a cool head, look at my overall plan, and stick to my strategy that I've had the whole time. So we can see here we do have some resistances to be aware of. We do have a nice bullish price target there, but I'm trying to be cautious along the way. If we take a look at ETH BTC, this is a chart that looks at the differences between Bitcoin and Ethereum. When this chart is moving down, Bitcoin is outperforming Ethereum, and when this chart is moving up, Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin. You can see here this has been in the downtrend for a while, lower highs, lower lows. We are seeing Bitcoin outperform Ethereum repeatedly here. Now, this always comes to an end. If we look at the price, if we look at this chart in history, it's very, very spiky. Bitcoin outperforms Ethereum. No, that's down. And then Ethereum outperforms Bitcoin and vice versa. And we see this very choppy line here on the chart. Now, typically what we see is Bitcoin performing incredibly well. We then see some sort of sideways action for Bitcoin. And then we see Ethereum and the altcoins start to catch up, and this chart starts to move to the upside. And that's what happens typically. So when this chart looks like it's starting to bottom out, we're seeing that downtrend coming to an end. That's when I start to get really excited about Ethereum and the altcoins as well. Now, obviously, we have some specific news about Bitcoin, which is making Bitcoin outperform the rest of the market. But we do need to be careful. Bitcoin can't always go up in a straight line. I am super bullish on Bitcoin right now, but that's me trying to keep a cool hat on. So we can see a cool head. I don't know what that term is that I've just tried to use. So that is what we are looking at right now. I want to keep an eye on that chart because I'm thinking after Bitcoin's seen this nice rally, I do want to transfer some of my Bitcoin into Ethereum and to take advantage of that nice pump there on this chart there as well. So that's just something I'm keeping an eye on. But that is really all we have for today. So thank you very much for tuning in. As always, I hope you have enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. If you're over on Twitter, make sure to comment and give us a follow and share the stream with your friends as much as possible. We are trying to grow the channel to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we need your help to do so. So thank you very much for tuning in. And I hope to see you all back here tomorrow to learn more about the cryptocurrency.